Hey, hey, we're back 2 in a row. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Andrea.
and we are relatively unstable. Don't forget to like, follow, share. What else do people do? Uh, I don't know, comment, whatever, only if it's nice, but we don't give a shit if it's not. So do all that and keep us going. We're really excited about this. And, you know, as we've been sitting around in quarantine, relatively unstable, just ignoring all of our um, aesthetics. I've been working out, but the 2-bite brownies have been plentiful. And so today, sitting with TNA is no stranger to TNA and getting your TNA together. You like what I did there? See that? See that? DeLorean Griffin, MD. Dr. Griffin is a board certified plastic and reconstructive surgeon. He focuses on the breast and body contouring, which let's see what all that's about. He has won several awards. He's been recognized many times over, including Michigan Chronicles 40 Under 40, Men of Excellence, and top doc in the field of plastic surgery in Detroit's Hour magazine. He is on the executive board of the Detroit Medical Society, and he is a Q. So
we can have a whole nother podcast about that. We actually should, but let's focus. Let's focus.
We always get good ideas in the conversation. Dr. Griffin, thank you for popping on with us. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Native Detroiter, kind of. With high school.
Kind of?
Yeah. Well, my mom dragged me to Maryland, DMV area, for high school. So I went to Florida A&M University, FAMU Rattler, HBCUs.
Awesome.
Decided I wanted to become a doctor, came back, got the opportunity I got accepted into med school here at Wayne State. And despite my efforts to leave this cold tundra, I'm stuck here now.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. I think all of us do. I'm a Midwest girl, so I can't see myself ever really leaving the Midwest. So I really just need to shut up because I just don't see myself going anywhere else or to any other region.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Griffin, usually we do like a fun something with our guests. Often it's truth or drink, but since we're with a professional today,
I mean, literally, like in the coat in the office, like we really can't do anything.
White coat.
Cover it up.
We know this.
Can I borrow that?
Right.
It's a tissue expander. I'm using it to cover up my where I work.
Okay, good job. So we'll do like a quick, a little word association if you don't mind. So if I say beauty, what do you say?
Eye of the beholder.
Okay. If I say Kardashian, what do you say?
Misshapen booty.
If I say Black China, what do you say?
Misshapen booty and
Oh,
you're fit in quite well here.
Well, so, all right, let's get it.
We won't ask how you know that. Wait, did we already talk about that? We touched on that in another episode, but we'll have to go there another time. So Andrea brought up on her Facebook page the other day, she's trademarked a phrase. What is it, Andrea?
Auntie titties. So my Facebook post was I needed a safe space to talk about auntie titties because I am larger in the chest area than other folks, I guess. I don't know. And, it wasn't until recently, I'm approaching 40, and it wasn't until recently where I was just like, they sitting a little lower. They're sitting a little lower. They hanging a little long. They're a little long in the tooth for me than what I'm used to. And so then that made me think of like, you know, people's aunties with the house coats running outside with the titties down to their knees. And I felt like I needed a safe space to talk about that. So it was that connection that brought you here. So thank you for being a guest to talk about auntie titties and what we can do about them.
You introduced me to a new terminology.
You can use that. That is our gift to you today.
Is there other levels to this? Is it go from like mama to auntie to grandma?
See, now I hadn't really brought them levels in, but we can talk about it.
Let's see. Mama tits are sad. Those are nursing. They're so sad. They hurt your feelings.
See, and I don't like, I haven't nursed. So like, these are legit like auntie that ain't got no kids titties.
Mm-hmm.
They're like bipolar.
Gravity titties.
They're like bipolar because it's like they were once fun and now they're sad. They're so sad. But you love your children and whatever.
Yeah.
So
they do a number on your body, no doubt.
What celebrity would you love to get your hands on? Like when you see them, you're just like, that's like your ultimate challenge.
You mean to work on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna say Lauren London.
Really?
Yeah, because she's pretty much on point everywhere else, but she ain't got no booty. So it's
true that.
You know, a lot of women are missing that one piece, and that one piece is easily.
Remember when I said that I was heavy on top? Yeah. Buddy.
But that seems like an easy one. I'm thinking like who appears to have the best work done?
So, okay. I live Portia Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Now I would think that like that to me, I mean, it may be, you know, obviously I'm not a dude, but like she kind of goes into like the Kim Kardashian, Black China, like
not quite there yet though.
Okay.
She's pretty well proportioned in my book.
Okay.
Black China's ass looks like it was beat with a bag of nickels.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So you're right, because I think that the thing that always trips me out is like how there's no graduation from like the thighs to the ass. Like it's just like a very small, like there's no thigh that's only this big that can hold up that much ass. Like
call them ant booties.
Yes. So, what about tiny?
Oh.
Because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's a hot mess, and she's like smaller than my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So tell us what kind of procedures you typically do.
So I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. So I do full gamut of all plastic surgery, pretty much. I do 90% of everything that all plastic surgeons do. So I don't just do the pretty stuff. So yeah, I do body contouring, I do breasts, I do tummy tucks, do Brazilian butt lift, you know. But I also work in conjunction with a weight loss center, Michigan Bariatric Institute. So I do the body contouring there. I do post-bariatric body contouring. So you lose weight, you have extra skin. So that's a different beast. So I do arm lifts, thigh lifts, body lifts, tummy tuck for those patients that are a little different than your standard mommy makeover. So there's that. Then I also do wound care. I just do trauma. I put faces back together. Do some hand surgery. But I say the cosmetic stuff is probably at this point, the vast majority.
Mm-hmm. What was your first procedure?
A skin graft. The same procedure that I'm supposed to be doing right now. But yeah, for an open leg wound.
Eek.
So
I've seen photos.
So you mean first procedure by myself, like in practice, right?
Yeah.
Skin graft. So it was a lady that was in a car accident or a truck accident and had this leg wound. And it's funny because I had done so many skin grafts before that in residency, but the first time I was on my own, I was shaking in my boots because it's like, damn, this is my first case. This patient is under anesthesia, under my care.
Right.
So,
What made you choose plastics?
Well, in med school, I really was unsure what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to be some type of surgeon. But if you follow me, and you know how artistic I am, you may have seen some of my artwork.
Yep.
So a lot of my colleagues, peers would just encourage me, like, you should go into plastic surgery because that's the most artistic field in medicine. It's a perfect blend. So I've kind of excelled at both science and art. Been able, I say, my mind is right and left brain intertwined. So
nice. I
That is
have
nice.
a kind of a funny question, but I hear because I'm just fill my mind with stuff that doesn't concern me about when you have different procedures like the fat transfer or you have like a tummy tuck or butt lift or whatever, that if you gain weight after the fat goes somewhere else, where does it go? Because if I had to
you're talking about if you get liposuction in some
yeah
area. So that's not exactly accurate. The best way I can explain it is if you weigh 150 pounds and I do liposuction and I take off 10 pounds, right? Now you're 140 pounds. Now let's say you gain weight. Let's say now you're 140, but just say I'll go back to 150. So your weight goes back to 150, but everywhere else in your body is saying that I've gained an additional 10 pounds. So you're 160 pounds everywhere else.
oh hell no.
Oh.
Like a deficit. So you don't really gain weight in the area that you did liposuction, but you gain weight. These women are gaining weight and they're that's what's
So
happening.
if that shit went to my chin, I would be pissed.
So
Like,
it doesn't make fat go elsewhere.
oh my God, yuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what if a woman gets pregnant after she has the procedure? Does it benefit her, or will she most likely be back in your care?
There's a full spectrum. I know I just did a BBL on a woman that had a child after a tummy tuck, and her tummy looks fine. But certainly, if you've done a tummy tuck and you've tightened everything up and you have a baby, it's gonna stretch everything out. Now, whether it bounces back like you would normally, I don't know. But certainly, you could have another overhang and things can get loosey-goosey again.
Oh,
Yeah.
overhang. That sounds like a terrible word when you
So,
talk
yeah.
about
I know.
stomach.
So yeah, I reckon.
I have to say that cosmetic procedures have given me a lot of trust issues because I follow all these fitness people on Instagram, and then I saw.
Oh, they lying.
I know. I saw this procedure so we've talked about this. I have been on consults. I'll get to that in a minute. But I saw this procedure where like abs were actually created. I'm like, you know what?
It's called abdominal etching.
Fuck these people and they're lying because I need truth. I need to know what's possible for me. I need to know that, and they're lying to me. But I went for a consult, and I'm going to tell you, and this is my question to you, how do you make your patients comfortable when they come for a consult? Because I went in the room, I was stripped to nothing, to no pride, and then they took these very high-def photos and took a pencil and lined everything up, and I ran out of there and left my pride inside the office.
There's no way around that. That's just part of the consultation. You gotta take your clothes off, and we gotta take pictures. There's no way around.
No, those high-def pics though are cruel. Those photos are cruel. I'm like, can you discard that film?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no other way to demonstrate how far you've come after surgery than to take a picture before.
True.
You gotta get up with that part. Now, the individual part the individual relationship that you have with that plastic surgeon, you know, I can't speak on, because everybody's going to have different personalities and different bedside manner, and you know.
Have you had to deal with any obstinate partners and had to navigate that? And how do you?
When you mean when you say obstinate?
Like a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend.
So, so this whole experience with significant others varies by race significantly. From what I've seen, Caucasian patients, spouses are very encouraging. Yeah, do this. Get the biggest boobs. You know.
Oh, hell no.
And
I'll pay for it.
African Americans, I find them to be just opposite. I think, you know, if they're not discouraging it, they're saying, "Well, I like you the way you are," most of the time. Now, I know that there's been a lot of talk about, oh, you know, the black men, they love these big booties. That's what's causing all of this plastic surgery. I don't find that to be true at all. I think black men like a large backside, but they also like it to look natural.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like when when they do too much.
Yeah.
We don't like in general, we don't like the whole vixen look. I think a lot of women are doing that for themselves and trying to be like some of these Instagram models, and it has nothing to, you know, maybe we like it and drool over it, whatever. But so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect I see is just husbands and boyfriends and significant others getting very insecure after a woman decides to do these things, and now she's feeling herself. Now she wants to go out more. Now she wants to show more. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of it. I've broken up relationships just from my work. I'm up to probably about 5 or 6 now, where I've caused a divorce.
You need to start a pool. That divorce was coming, just so you know.
Relationship issues that have not been resolved, and they were just brought to the surface.
I would say, look, you did God's work, because that girl was ready to go anyway.
Listen.
She was ready to go. You just needed your extra boost of confidence.
Right. And that's what it is.
I mean, really, that's what it is. It's not his insecurity. She just needed something to let her know that she still had it. Yeah. What's your typical patient profile?
Probably not what you expect from an age perspective. Demographic wise, I'm probably, it was a while where black women weren't coming to see me at all. I just, I was like, dang, all I had to do was be black, and I'm in a black city, and it took a while. I think black women they're used to everything being popping. I wasn't popping. I'm still not popping. I got a name for myself, but I'm not popping. So I had it was majority white patients for a while. Now it's probably 40 white, 40 black, 20% other, Arabic, Asian.
Yeah, I think that going back to what you said about now that I do think may have something the insecurity, because a lot of my experience has been that a lot of black men have a problem with women having male physicians, and to have one that's so intimately, associated with his woman's body. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, so I have my sorority sister came to see me, and then she was singled in, but she had double back and one of her breasts done, and her new beau had she's like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. Then her boo saw a picture of me, and he was like, nah. Nah. There's that. That's just whatever. Most of the time, it's okay. So back to the demographics. Age. Right. I don't have very young patients.
Okay.
I just put it out there. I don't know. Maybe one time I've operated on a woman for cosmetic reasons. 30. And once again, that goes back to the whole popping thing. If I was Dr. Miami or somebody like that, or Detroit's version, I'm sure be fly. But I don't want that demographic anyways because they ain't got no money. They don't.
That's real.
They don't. They don't have an established career. They don't have financial, awareness. Or,
right.
They just, they're always asking for discounts, and so my average age of a patient probably about 45.
That makes sense.
That's when you meet it.
Wait, I'm like, let me turn off my video. I'm 45. Go ahead, Andrea.
Oh, and this might be a question that might be better saved for the end, but I just want to make sure that I get this out here. So so you say that you don't have younger patients, mostly older patients. Have you had any, obviously all success stories, but any stories that have really touched you in emotionally, as far as how you've improved their life overall, and
all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to understand, I also do breast reconstruction for breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Those patients are always very grateful. I've had a lot of well-known patients who you would never know were my patients, HIPAA reasons, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't save lives per se. I improve them. I used to save lives. I used to be a trauma surgeon too. But I, lifestyle reasons, I had to make a shift. But there was a guy that was almost murdered by one of his employees, and his face was pulverized, and he survived that. Had a brain injury, and also had fractured jaw, fractured face, orbit, all of that. And I reconstructed all of it. And he was, this made the news, about his. I think he got convicted, the guy. Like when you think about how I was able to restore this guy's ability to eat and look relatively normal afterwards.
Is that is that multiple surgeries, or is that?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 surgeries. Yeah.
Wow.
But you could hardly tell anything happened to him.
Wow.
Nice.
Well,
That's
so
amazing.
Did you?
I did that.
What's your most challenging procedure?
A lot of breast stuff is, breast reconstruction is challenging because you're dealing with patients that have radiation. Anything dealing with the breast, because you got 2 of them, and you got to make them even. You got to make them perfect.
You said you got 2 of them.
You got 2 of them. You want them to be
so
twins. You want to be twins and not first and second cousins, right?
Preferably, yeah.
Right.
So for me, I mean, challenging is a breast. I do shoot. If you include breast reduction, breast lifts, breast augmentation, breast reconstruction, it probably makes a good 60% of my whole practice. So there's a lot of.
They are out front, so.
Yeah. And in plastic surgery, you don't always get you don't see the results immediately. You have to do things in a way that eventually you'll see the results. For example, if I'm doing a breast lift or a breast reduction, I'm putting the breast and even in augmentation, I'm putting the breast way higher than they will be eventually, because you want them to drop into the right place. But leave them here, then they're gonna drop here.
Pre-auntie titty mode.
So,
right.
So when you see it, and then one breast may drop, faster than the other one, is like, damn,
Yeah.
So I'm sweating. But eventually, most of the time it winds up being okay.
I'll be on anxiety medication immediately.
Literally,
you do a celebrity, which I've done a couple, and you're really sweating because they have all of this influence,
right?
Make you or break you. So
right.
I mean, can you imagine? And this is to Tiffany, but can you imagine being like, "Girl, I can't go out, girl, because my second titty ain't dropped." Like what? Like what? Can you imagine?
You got to put your bras from when you're. I'll tell you this. So God didn't make you perfect, but you expect me to. So it's like there are options. as far as prosthesis and push-up bras and all that, they're gonna make you look normal in clothes.
I'll be partying. That prosthesis would fall right out because that's how my
Yeah,
life
that's how my life
goes.
is. That is how my life
You
goes.
shouldn't be doing all that in the immediate post-operative period anyway.
That's true. I actually know someone who probably partied a little bit too quickly. What's your favorite surgery to do?
I was probably have to say tummy tuck. Tummy tucks are fun.
Oh, why?
I don't know, cause I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm pretty good at it. I make a nice belly button, and
that's what I want. I was thinking earlier. I was like, I want to ask him about that belly button.
Yeah.
It is like I've become an expert at identifying the fake belly button. It looks so weird.
Yeah.
Why is that?
They don't have the right technique. So I learned various techniques to make it as realistic as possible, and it takes extra time in the OR, but I do it every time because I want that authenticity. You know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, those belly buttons drive me crazy. Belly buttons drive me crazy.
Yeah, they look like slits.
Yes.
That's not a good look. If it's in the wrong position, some people put them too high, too low. Not a good look. This is one fake plastic surgeon who will remain nameless, who I refer to as the belly button bandit, who completely chops your belly button off and then puts some stitches in to make it look like there's a belly button, but then it kind of disappears. No.
Yeah, do you do a lot of like repairs?
Yeah.
Like of botched surgeries?
Yeah. You could film an episode of Botched in my practice. I mean, you can
really
film a whole season. Yeah, I do it. Do a lot of secondary repair, and maybe there's people out there repairing my work. Who knows? We all get complications, but you know, I get a steady stream of patients from specific doctors that are all yeah.
I've seen some pretty messed up work out there.
They keep going to them because I don't know.
Would you ever, or have you turned someone down, and what are the reasons you would turn someone down?
Yeah, I turn people down a fair amount. Health reasons usually, even modifiable things. I mean, people that smoke are not good candidates for elective surgery. You disrupt the blood supply during the healing process by smoking. Causes vasoconstriction. The nicotine does. So you're a smoker, you got to quit smoking for 3 weeks with me. Some people are just, their BMI is too high. Sometimes I'll do elevated BMIs, probably more than the average plastic surgeon, because I mean, let's face it, where we have a heavier society here in Michigan, especially with Black women. And it's not all bad, it's just how we distribute our weight, so some people have more muscle mass. BMI is deceptive. But absolutely, if BMI is like 35 or above, I gotta have you come down on your weight, because you got to go into it with healthy habits to maintain your results.
Right. Is it better, and some of this is probably more dermatology, the things I'm about to ask about, but do you recommend, are there any procedures that you recommend doing maybe proactively, like something that you might want to get done a little earlier than waiting until it's...
You mean like Botox?
Not like Botox, but like facelift stuff and neck work and all that kind of stuff.
No, you do it when you need to. You do it when you need to, because there's really, you mean like prophylactic?
Yeah. Or just a little bit earlier than you would think.
No, no. If anybody's doing that type of stuff, that's a money grab.
So here's a question.
Go ahead.
Do you have a lot of men come consult for procedures?
No, probably about 8% men. Cosmetic stuff, yeah, about 8%.
Yeah. What do they haven't done?
What we call gynecomastia, which are man boobs. Yeah, we get a fair amount of those. Tummy tucks, and then the abdominal etching, liposuction. You know, men want to look good too.
I was not expecting that. I thought you were going to say, oh, calf implants.
No.
Leg day.
Oh, I don't do any. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I've seen some disasters there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there are people that do them and are good at them, but I wouldn't do them.
Would you ever have anything done?
I was just getting ready to ask that.
You know what, man? Yeah, I work out a lot, and maybe the diet part isn't all there, but I got 4.5 packs, and maybe that liposuction, that 1.5 I need. You know, and I always wanted that really like carved out back that goes like that, and I don't have that. I'm kind of like straight up and down, so maybe some lipo, high definition lipo.
But would you trust somebody who's not you to do it?
Of course. I got a whole world of friends that are plastic surgeons that I trust. You know, a friend of mine did my wife's booty. Yeah.
Is she okay with you saying that?
Yeah. Yeah, she's very candid.
I feel like we always have to protect the wives.
Right.
Trust me, she has the blessing. People ask me why I didn't do it. And I was like, because I prefer a meal that's cooked by somebody else. It tastes better.
All right, then.
Say that.
Right. Where's your
that.
collection plate, Andrea?
Right. Grab it.
When you were training and was there any, like, I have a son who's 24, and I often think about him when I'm talking to Black professional men, and I think that we're grateful to have you on because I know but that doesn't mean that's not, but I only know of one other Black male plastic surgeon no, I'm lying because I've interviewed another one, but who does like the cosmetic work that I've seen.
You don't know each other. Most of us. You don't want to say that's bad.
Yeah, and I know he looks like a joke to me, but
okay.
Yeah, I don't know that he is, but he just looks very I don't know. He looks a little bit much like he's more concerned with his outward persona than making somebody else look good. Like that's what he looks like to me. But when you are, I'm sure you get asked to talk a lot and mentor and all that. Mm-hmm. Was your path? Would you say your path was like easy for you? Like you knew this was what you wanted to do, or did someone help you kind of?
Oh, so that was the double-edged sword. By no means was any of this easy. I mean, just the time and the money, committed. If you see my student loan bill, you would have a heart attack. Not to mention, I did 8 years of residency, and that was working 90 hours a week, sometimes 100 hours a week. I had young children I didn't get to see, play with for a long time. So, and then, there's all that reading and then having to deal with the other stresses, burnout, you know what I mean? And then that's just being a doctor.
Right.
I mean, a Black doctor, that's another,
right.
There's another layer to that. Because you're dealing with not just outright racism, you're dealing with implicit bias. And I've been discriminated against by Black folks. Mm-hmm. I had Black people tell me I don't want a Black doctor. You know what I mean? And it's so that it's dealing with that and dealing with patients not thinking you're qualified enough when you're the most qualified doctor in the area.
Say that.
And I got so many stories I could tell. We'd be here all night. But so that path, my goal was to make that path easier for the people, not just Black men, Black folks in general, or anybody. Right. Make that path easier. And
do you dedicate a lot of time to training?
I do. I do. I invite people. I invite residents to my office to shadow me. I give them advice. Students, even not just med students, but people that are interested in medicine in general. I've written letters and recommendations. I do school. Before COVID, I did probably about 7, 8 school welcomes, career days a year.
How has COVID impacted your work?
Oh, so we were shut down for almost 2 months. As far as doing elective procedures, they still let me do emergencies, and there's not that many emergencies in plastic surgery. So I got to watch a lot of Netflix series, Breaking Bad, and all of that during that time. But I was going crazy because I love operating. But so what that did was created a large backlog of patients that I had to play catch up with.
So you're busy.
And
so
the ones that had already been scheduled and been canceled, and the ones that have been waiting to be scheduled, and then the new patients. And I'm still not caught up. I think I might be caught up next week or something. But it was from like mid March to early May. Mm-hmm. We couldn't do elective procedures.
Yeah. And see, a person I'm like, this is an emergency.
Right.
But this is an emergency.
And it changed the way, it just changed the way we operate. Now we got to have, everybody has to have a mask. At one point, we couldn't have more than one patient in the office at one time. You've been to an average doctor's office when there's people all in the waiting room. So now we had to have them wait in the car. This patient has to leave. Now, those restrictions are being alleviated, but
What are some of that was serious, but I have to ask this question. What are some of the smaller, like more inconspicuous kind of not quick, I know it's not it's all complex, but what are like some quick tune-up, like to just tighten up the landscape a little bit, that aren't necessarily where you won't be in surgery for 8 hours?
Like just small liposuction cases. Some people just want a little, pudge taken off, little love handle, inner thigh, whatever. Those cases are pretty quick.
And those are like tiny scars, like yeah.
So, recovery is pretty fast with those.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, small stuff, breast augmentation, just putting implants in, that's quick and easy.
That's quick. I like it.
Like an hour.
That doesn't seem like that would be quick at all. Like
no, if they need a lift with it, then that complicates things, but I shouldn't say complicates, it makes it more complex.
I've asked this question of a surgeon that I've had to interview for my job, and the answer was really complicated, but how close are you, or are we getting to the place where you can actually use like body fat for boobs?
Yeah, so I've been doing that. Same way you can fat graft the butt, you can fat graft the breast. I don't like to use it primarily for augmentation, because think about fat and trying to put it in a place and try to get it shaped like a breast. I equate it to trying to build a breast from sprinkling sand. You know what I mean? It's going to spread out, right? It's not going to build that. It's not going to build up like this. Same way with fat. It's really hard to get projection with fat alone.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some, maybe 1 cup size, but not really. Really, I like to use it in combination with something else, like a lift or implants. So I do a fair amount of it. And the other thing is, you got to be careful, because you at some point, you've probably had a mammogram.
Because I'm old. He said that like, but yes.
Bad one. So you can get a lot of like calcifications, things that kind of muddy the waters when you put fat in place. So you guys got to be careful. You can get fat necrosis and have lumpy areas, and that'll have you worried about breast cancer.
Yeah.
So I don't like to do a lot of fat grafting to the breast, but
if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I'd be on Wall Street somewhere, probably. Painting, sculpting. My other profession. I wouldn't be able to just sit and do it like that, because we all hear about struggling, or what do we call it? Starving
artists.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a starving surgeon, you're doing something wrong.
My experience.
I love artwork though.
My experience has been that there are a large volume of physicians who are also involved in the arts personally in some way, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's sculpting.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the lobby just playing the piano, or
it's our therapeutic outlet, because this is a stressful job, no two ways about it. Your lives in your hands, and things don't always go right. You be getting pressure from administration, who's probably bugging my office right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To be more productive and see more patients, but at the same time maintain these benchmarks when it comes to satisfaction, and it's stressful. You get burned out, So we gotta have that catharsis.
I'm always impressed as a strictly artist. Like, I'm always impressed with people that can do like the math and the science plus the art, because I am very much just art. Like, I can't, like, I'm not, like, I don't have that other brain, but it's so impressive, like, for people that can do both, because for me, it feels like art and creativity and graphic design, like all of that it feels my whole brain. Like, that's how I view the world. Mm-hmm. So like, I can't really see it no other way. So like to know that there's people that can like turn that off for a second and see things in a very like mechanical, logical, scientific way, that's amazing to me. Like,
yeah, I mean, and you know what? It's funny because a lot of people expect their plastic surgeon to be an artist or be artistic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really not the case in most cases. Really, they're more technicians. The people that train me how to do stuff, they measured a lot. I mean, they would measure something. They would measure the from one nipple to the other, and then the nipple to the fold down here, and they do it again, and they make an adjustment and do it again. I do some measuring, but to me, I just look at something and say, well, I just need to take a little here and a little there. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. I don't think you're a bad plastic surgeon if you don't have the artistic skills, but I think for me, it's really helped my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's some people who are just meant to do what they do. Like, some people just have that innate, like, like there are processes, and I'm a creative, but I'm a writer. So there are, other people who are writers, but they need an outline and they need this. And I'm like, no, I just need a drive by myself and maybe a few extra days to jack off time. And then it'll come to me and I'll be inspired. And then I can sit down and write 12 pages in, a whole day or whatever. So I think there are some people that is just in you. Like, you're drawn to what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, because I can't write. And I thought I was a decent writer until I really started working with a copywriter, and I was like, oh, I'm not.
I don't know why you let that bother you. I don't give a shit. If you edit whatever you want to edit out. That's what they're there for. I will turn in all my typos, but the content is tight. So whatever. Dr. Griffin, what is the future of plastics like? Is there like technology on the horizon that's going to make your job easier, or what are the procedures? And then the second part of that question is, how do you stay on top of trends? Because there are obviously trends in what looks good and body,
right.
body types and all that.
So I tell everybody who's seeking a plastic surgeon, be wary of of course, you got to look at credentials and things of that nature. But I tell people to be wary of plastic surgeons who are not open to learning new techniques and going to the meetings and talking to other plastic surgeons about their technique and listening to them and their, how they manage their complications, and going into the, they have most of these meetings have a convention space where they're showing all of the latest technology, and and I guess you got to kind of decipher what's bullshit and what's not. But at the same time, being a doctor is all about lifelong learning. So these guys that are out here and they're cocky and they're stuck in their ways, that's how you wind up with the belly button that looks like a slit. You know what I mean? Because they're not learning.
Belly button is the bane of my existence, and I don't even it's terrible. Because
they're not learning. So, I hope they kind of addressed the question, but that's, so what are some of the latest things? I think, a lot of the ways of purifying fat for large volume fat grafting, because girls are wanting bigger and bigger butts, but a lot of that fat doesn't survive. So finding ways to purify that fat and make it more viable and long lasting is one of the things that I have my eye on some of these companies. And, you gotta stay on top of the trends, because not everything we do is safe either, and we just don't know it yet. So, just like the gummy bear implants, they took them off the market last year because they found that they were causing lymphoma. So, yeah, because the textured surface was causing kind of like this inflammatory state that would somehow cause this lymphoma. So,
I don't know how come their fat doesn't survive, but my fat survives. I work hard.
And I think eventually they'll find a way to make it so you can donate fat or have synthetic fat, available. Because a lot of the skinny girls, they want big butts, but they don't have enough fat to give. So
I got something.
Check. If there's a clinical trial, let me know. I have a research profile already established. Let me know. I'm there. I got you.
I got you.
Right.
I got you, skinny girls. I got you.
I'm here for you. So I know you have to go be professional and do your job. What do you want your legacy to be in this field? Like when you look back and when people are looking back, in 50 years, what do you want them to be saying about your work and you in this field?
I could come back on your show and go on and on about the relationship I had with my father, or the lack thereof.
Shit. Done. Tell us when you can.
And another podcast idea comes to life.
You all heard it.
But for me, I just want to be that inspiration, because as far as Black plastic surgeons, there's not a whole lot of us. There's probably, I don't know, I guessed around 300 in the whole country.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and probably less than 40% of those are Black males. So I want to be that trailblazer. Inspire those that are willing to, that want to delve into the field and don't know how to get into it.
Yeah.
And a lot of that starts early on with education and just knowing the right people and having the right network.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of physicians who, got into a field, and it was really because they just didn't have the education or the knowledge or the mentorship to be, they chose the wrong residency. I can't even think of, but
that's right. The wrong specialty.
Yeah.
You're right, specialty.
But there's a word that I'm looking for that's escaping me at this moment.
A lot of the humanitarian efforts. I was scheduled to go to Nigeria and do a medical mission and got canceled by COVID. So, there's that and a lot of the pro bono stuff that I want to get into eventually.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming and allowing us into your space, and for letting us know what's out there, what's possible, and what Black men are out here doing. We appreciate it. And hopefully you will come back and maybe ditch the white coat and we can have another conversation about being Black and Black men and some of the stuff that we talk about regularly on our podcast. So we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me pretty much on you can find me on Facebook, but also my IG, Dr. Griffin Dr. Griffin _ Plastics Arts. And you can find me in my office.
Well, how about this? So he doesn't have to say where his office is.
I flashed it.
Go to his Instagram, see his work. It's beautiful. It is, I'm not good at stomaching the hard stuff, but I like the results.
Yeah, like legit. Like I think we followed each other not too long ago, and like the first time that after I followed you, I refreshed my feed, and I was like, oh, okay, right. I'm following a plastic surgeon now. That's real.
Right.
Okay.
Look, let me tell you,
a lot going on. I was like, oh boy, okay.
At work,
yeah,
I'm always like, I'll look something up, and I'm like, please don't let the pictures come up in Google. Please don't let, I'm not good at that. Like, I don't know how I do my job sometimes, but the results are
amazing.
Beautiful. You will not
let me ask you this. You said I took a picture with one of your life partners or something?
Oh, yeah. He's, I'll email it to you.
Oh, yeah.
He has it on his phone. Dr. Griffin, Detroit is so small. And one night, my partner came home from an event, a holiday event at
Detroit Golf Club.
And he was like, man, this dude was so cool. He took this picture of me and he shows me this picture that's like him lounging, smoking a cigar or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was like, yeah, this dude just took this picture of me. It was like, I had to take this picture. It was just such a cool scene. And it's just that, and then you and I feel like.
Panoramic. That was a fun night, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just like, people keep popping up in my feed.
Like two degrees of separation in Detroit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, I got
and then I've seen you at the gym a couple times, just passing by. So, we can't escape each other in Detroit, which is a good thing and a bad thing if you grew up here. If you're not confident and not courageous enough to beat some of the things that follow you.
I know. I've been doing. Hey, I got 2 educations.
That's real.
Really real. Well, thank you so much, and hopefully you will come back and kick it with us, chill with us anytime. We appreciate you. Check out Dr. Griffin's Instagram, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.